Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And another daily dose of dismal Disney news.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, it's
not really. It's
I don't know what to call it. It's something. It's something.
Interesting Disney news, but that doesn't really rhyme. So okay, so there are more rumors about Disney and their reaction to everything going on in the country. Current year, current month. The rumor is coming from, again, WDW Pro.
Right, at WDW Magic, which I found before other people like Inside the Tragic decided to copy it, not credit me. So yeah, apparently he has heard from multiple sources that, go ahead and put it back on the other window so I can see what he's talking about, that they are trying to form a review board inside an internal attractions, diversity, and values review team to go and like check out rides and make sure that they fit the brand of the company. And they said they've been under scrutiny or given recommendations for modifications for the next 5 years. And here is the list of attractions that they're going to review and decide how to change. Splash Mountain, number 1. American Adventure, number 2. Still not understanding why that one's an issue.
We'll talk about
Hall
these.
of Presidents, Country Bear Jamboree, the Whoop-De-Doo Review, Carousel of Progress, It's a Small World, and Peter Pan's Flight.
Yeah, now he says one source is extremely biased as they're passionate that these attractions be protected for the purpose of avoiding political rules on the forum. I will not give my opinion and will try to be dispassionate. I will say, though, that Splash Mountain conversation would pass over, but I believe
I knew it wouldn't. I told you it wouldn't. It's not going to. I mean,
it hit USA
a couple of years ago would have, but now it's not going to. They're going to flip and change Splash Mountain 100%. And now because that's not enough, we got to look at all these problematic attractions, and half these I don't even understand why they're problematic.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because the last time Disney put together an internal review board...
out of nowhere, and at that point, no one was complaining.
No one was complaining. The last time they put together an internal review board, it wound up changing the auction scene in Pirates of the Caribbean. There were audible boos at D23 when they announced the change from a lot of Disney fans. Literally no one was complaining about this part, or if they were, it was a very few. Very vocal minority, but they changed it anyway. We think the ulterior motive was, of course, to position Red as being a replacement for Jack Sparrow.
That is the ulterior motive, guys. I'll tell you why. Because immediately after they did this, they had her as a face character for meet and greet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would they do that? Because they're trying to get her out there and try to gauge popularity and make her popular to replace her. And not long after that, the rumors started swirling of, oh, well, maybe Red the Pirate should be the new Pirates of the Caribbean lead.
Yeah, this was by design. And that's one thing you got to understand about Disney is they don't do anything just to be nice. It's not to be on point or whatever. They do it with financial gain in mind, always in the back of their mind, always. And, if they change these attractions, I guarantee it, they're doing it because they want to save face. They're hoping that long term they'll make more money. It has nothing to do with, I don't think it has very little to do with being political, or that's just the way it is.
Well, now they have to, because they had to change things, because they made a big deal after all the stuff happened about giving money and saying that Black Lives Matter, even though it didn't matter on their movie posters before.
Yeah, right.
It didn't seem to matter to them before. Now they're making such a big move about it that they're going to have to put their money where their mouth is.
Yep.
And they can't just let this, especially Splash Mountain, they can't just let it go. So it's not going to let it go with that one.
Yeah, Splash Mountain this comes up. I mean, honestly, Splash Mountain comes up every couple of years. People are like, wait a second, if they won't re-release Song of the South, why do they have a ride based on the attraction? But a lot of people pointed out that the attraction, other than having the animal characters, doesn't really have anything to do with the movie.
No, it doesn't matter. And the only reason it's the way it is, and we mentioned this in another video, I believe, is because they got rid of America Sings, which was where the Carousel of Progress was. So they had the Carousel of Progress, which apparently is problematic too. Yeah. And they sent that to Orlando, and then they had America Sings in that building with all these singing animals. Well, they got rid of America Sings, and they had all these animatronics from singing animals and set pieces. What do we do with them? We can put them in this new ride, but how are we going to theme it? It has to be an IP because, everything's IP now. And, well, we'll use Song of the South because it's full of animals. And that's how we got Splash Mountain.
Yeah, Mark Davis designed all those characters. So they all looked like they go together. It's his style. It wasn't like they took characters and he also designed the characters for Country Bear Jamboree and pretty much Critter Country, I think, was his.
All the problematic things.
All the problematic things. So let's talk about what exactly they're going to change and why they're problematic. Splash Mountain, obviously, its connection to Song of the South. American Adventure, I said to you.
He did. And I said, no, why would they?
Because they're going to argue that American Adventure is told from a predominantly white perspective. And at this point, there's a lot of backlash against American history and it being told from a white point of view, even though the American Adventure has an entire scene with Frederick Douglass, even though they point out throughout the duration of the show that America has not been equal for everybody.
And how it's a problem.
And it is a problem that needs to be addressed, even though we have a lot of folks of different colors in the montage at the end.
They made sure they went back and added more to make sure that it was being more fair. Doesn't matter. American Adventure's bad. And a lot of this, I think, stems from those people that you keep seeing on Twitter, like, I don't want to talk about World War II because it makes me sad. I don't want to talk about this because it's bad. I'm sorry, history is history, and were there mistakes made? Yes. But that doesn't mean you should just change it because you don't like it. So, American Adventure, Hall of Presidents, obviously, because Donald Trump's in it, and because it's a bunch of white presidents. Obama's in there.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, and this is unfortunate, is we're going to see history being... I mean, obviously, we're going to see history being rewritten to suit current sensibilities, right?
To suit Twitter. I'm just going to say it, to suit Twitter.
I think anything historical... Disney is going to shy away from it. It used to be that the Walt Disney Company took pride in American history, and I think that in itself is going to be problematic because everybody's got a different opinion now of U.S. history opinion, and I think they're probably going to shy away from anything like this in the future. You're not going to see more like pro-American things.
Good thing they got rid of all the dinosaurs in Ellen's Energy Adventure, because I'm sure that'd be problematic too for some reason. There wasn't enough dino representation. Country Bear Jamboree.
I have no
like
idea.
Rednecks. I mean, I guess they're saying they shouldn't have so many rednecks. I don't know.
Well, Country Bear Jamboree. Look, there was a rumor going around that they were going to retheme it for Toy Story.
I know, but now, they'll watch that be the case, and they're putting on this list to make it like, oh, that's why.
I am wondering that. I am wondering if they're going to refurb these attractions. They were going to refurb them anyway, but they're going to say, Disney being Disney, oh, we heard you, America. We're gonna change everything to...
We heard you, that tiny percent of America. We're going to change everything.
Yeah, we heard you, Twitter.
We'll do a review, no idea.
Cowboys?
I don't know. Carousel of Progress. Again, is it because it's a white family? Honestly, is that what it is?
Probably because it's told exclusively. It's a Carousel of Progress, called the Carousel of Progress, told exclusively through the viewpoint of a white family.
Well, here's another kicker.
Probably.
People have been trying to save Carousel of Progress, but they've been hearing Disney's trying to get rid of it. It's on the list, and we're going to get rid of it because of this. You watch.
Again, these are all attractions that have been, except for American Adventure. I gotta tell you, American Adventure, I thought they would retheme it or something. They cleaned up the movie. It looks really, really good now. But these are all attractions that people have wondered about for years. Like, how long are they going to last? Where's Mr. Lincoln? He's not on here.
No, it's a small world because I'm assuming stereotypes. But I love if that's the argument. I love that we can't do it because of stereotypes. Meanwhile, we have Hollywood doing a Snake Eyes the movie and making sure they changed the character who was always blonde hair, blue-eyed ninja, and changing it now because, obviously he has to be Asian because he's a ninja. Because, that's not a racist flipping stereotype at all, is it? Or how about, Frosta from She-Ra. She obviously has ice power. She clearly has to be Eskimo.
Yeah.
Obviously. There's no stereotyping here. What are you talking about? I love how Hollywood has been stereotyping the shit out of things lately. But no, it's a stereotype and it's bad.
Peter Pan's flight, the only thing...
I know why. It's because of the Indian scene.
Yeah, that's the only...
the Native American scene, that's why. That one I can kind of understand.
I've wondered before, I've said this before, I never understood why, they're not even-handed. Song of the South was a taboo movie, but they released Peter Pan with...
Yeah, we talked about that when they had Disney Plus. I think they put a warning on the front of it or notice or something.
Well, that's the thing. For these movies, look, everything, almost everything is going to age badly, okay? Because times change. You cannot hold movies that were made 60, 70, 80 years ago to current year standards. So you know what? You did it. It was a product of its time. You slap a warning on it. and that's it.
I don't know why Snow White, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train isn't on here because it's Snow White. That's a problem. That should be on here.
And Seven Little White Men.
Right, so that should be on here. I'm sure we can think of other ones. People were arguing the Haunted Mansion was problematic. I'm like, what? Because there's not enough dead people that are ethnic? I'm like, then you complain that they're killing the ethnic people for,
I don't know. I mean, do I believe this is a thing? Yeah, I absolutely.
100%.
I absolutely.
So we're doing a video. If we had thought it was a fake, we wouldn't be doing it. It's, I 100% think this is true.
So we have people here just going into, some of the comments. I thought that Splash Mountain conversation wouldn't make an impact, but I don't see how it's a bad thing. Assuming this is false until it's confirmed by others, no. I think this is 100% true. I'm sure common sense will prevail with no knee-jerk over responses to beloved attractions.
Yeah, well, it's Disney.
It's Disney. We're talking about Disney. Yeah, it's Disney. Screw it, close them all and put up a bunch of flat spinners that are so bland and nobody can possibly be offended by them. Yeah, I think they're probably having the conversation. Now, I said Josh D'Amaro is actually against it. Which, for reasons, I'm sure, one, they are classic attractions. I think most people understand they were a product of their time, right? I don't think there's anything terribly offensive.
I'm like, the Obama's in there too. I mean, I'm sorry. It's problematic because all the presidents are white. I'm like, well, that's not Disney's fault. That's not Disney's fault. They had options for Democratic candidate this time around that wouldn't be white and male, and they didn't choose that. So they chose their own candidate. So,
we had Tulsi Gabbard, we had Andrew Yang, and neither one of them got any votes. Instead, we get Biden. Mm-hmm. I'm just putting it out
a total opportunity there. Didn't take it. So that's their own fault on that one.
I think what's gonna. I'm waiting for them to. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop and for them to just completely retheme Liberty Square, because we've heard rumors before that they were talking about possibly turning Columbia Harbor House into a haunted mansion.
Mm-hmm. We have heard rumors, but that was a while ago.
But I'm like, they never get rid of old ideas. They just repurpose them later. I could totally see them being like, you know what? Let's just get rid of Liberty Square because America and American history is so problematic, and let's just turn it all into like Haunted Mansion. Or something.
No, that's still problematic too, according to some people. So, I mean, you're never going to win. So, you know what? I don't know. I'm just tired of it. It's just getting ridiculous anymore.
I think they'll probably, personally, I think they'll probably wait to see how this plays out.
Because I was going to say, I'd wait a few months and see what happens.
Because you can't make decisions like that. Let's close down an attraction that's been open for 3 decades because, this month it's a really sensitive topic. If it's still a really sensitive topic 6 months from now and there's still public backlash, then they might want to consider.
Well, of this list, the ones I think they definitely would get rid of because they don't. Well, Splash Mountain, because that's the one that everybody's yelling about the most. American Adventure, because it's never very full, even though I love American Adventure.
I love American
Hall
Adventure.
of Presidents, again, never very full, and they'll argue because everybody's white. Country Bear Jamboree, again, old, never, and we already heard rumors they were going to change that, and then they got slapped down. Carousel of Progress, I think they've been itching to try to get that out of there, even though people want it.
Move Carousel. I always thought they should move Carousel of Progress to Epcot. They moved it before. They moved it from Disneyland.
They won't. They'll just get rid of it.
But it's that Walt loved it.
Doesn't matter. Walt himself is problematic. If you read these threads, I think on this one, I think if you go to the last page, they were talking about all the bad things about Walt Disney and how he's a terrible person. So why does it matter what Walt wanted?
Are they going to take his statue down?
Probably throw it in the lake.
They gotta take his name off the company. Are we gonna call it Mickey Co. or something? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Because we have to make sure this is getting absolutely out of hand. If you go to the last page, see Toy Story, Marion. Someone else brought it up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Story.
People were talking about.
That was the rumor that Disney's PR people had to go after WDW News Today over because they were putting that rumor up that they were gonna turn it into the Toy Story marionette show. And it was I thought it was a pretty logical argument, and they had to call him out publicly for it. But now they'll use the opportunity.
So we have Mr. Penguin, who's very salty most of the time. Walt had issues with women, unions, blacks, Jews, and supposed commies. His company has self-censored their own products for decades, including the over-the-top racial caricatures of the wartime propaganda, the black mammy mule servants in Fantasia, and pulling Song of the South from the U.S. market. Not all is untrue, though. Though you're the one rewriting history and making Walt a saint. Walt isn't a saint, but I wouldn't say he had issues she's win Black or Jews.
Yeah, I mean, look, Walt was. I mean, this is what's kind of ironic about this whole thing is Walt was very conservative, patriotic.
But you're saying you're not patriotic if you're patriotic if you don't like certain people.
I was gonna say a man of his time. I wasn't gonna say about the having problem with women, blacks and Jews. I was gonna say that as far as the union goes, yeah, his company was almost destroyed by a union, and he was very much on board with McCarthyism because he didn't want that to infect his company again. That's my understanding. Now, again, the real Walt Disney and the Walt Disney that sort of become the Colonel Sanders, of the company are two different people. Mm-hmm. And everybody's human and everybody has, biases and whatnot.
I just want to take a moment to appreciate that this person's icon for their account, Epcat. I love so much. I'm going to give it a little bit of applause.
Epcat.
I think that's my new favorite thing I've seen in all this week. Epcat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna get it.
Epcat.
I'm gonna get it. Oh my god, I love it so much. But Disney not to be outdone. Now the Oscars have a diversity requirement to be eligible to be for an Oscar.
Yeah, so this was going around today, and the Oscars at this point, I mean, they can't win. I mean, they're getting it from all sides. They have people, in Hollywood that are like the Oscars are too white, and they got people that are accusing the Oscars of pandering.
Here's a kicker, though: the Oscars are bought and paid for.
Yeah, they're bought and paid for.
But two, the Oscars are nominated by them. They nominate them themselves. Like it's the nominees and the votes are cast by the people that are in the guild.
Okay, so the Academy, because they've had the Oscars So White, I think it was Oscars So White hashtag for a while. They said that they're going to create a task force to develop new inclusion standards so they don't know what the standards are yet. New inclusion standards for Oscar eligibility.
So you can't be eligible for an Oscar unless you have an inclusive film. But what if your film's about something that happened at a time that it would be an all white person film because of historical reasons?
I don't know. They said they're going to have new standards by the end of July. The Academy has not yet determined what those standards will be. That's why I can't find any more information on it. And the film submitted this year will not be affected, so it will be for next year going forward. The organization also announced that the Best Picture category will be set at 10 films rather than the fluctuating number of nominations that has been in effect since 2010. Yeah, because sometimes it seems like they have like 5.
Yeah, that's true. 8. I mean, that I understand. That setting it at 10 films makes sense no matter what.
I don't know. So let's see. They said that it's unclear what the diversity requirements will entail, but the Academy could take a page from its brethren in Britain. In 2019, the British Film Institute became the first major awards body to introduce diversity and inclusion criteria into its eligibility requirements.
So it's not based on what the best film is. It's not based on who the best actors are. It's not based on any of that stuff, no matter what their race, gender, sexual orientation is, whatever. It's based on as long as you have enough quota.
Yeah, all entries.
But no one knows what the quota is.
That's it. Nobody knows. All entries in 2 British film categories, Outstanding British Film and Outstanding Debut by a British Writer, Director, Producer, are now required to increase representation to meet at least 2 of 4 diversity standards like on-screen representation,
this
themes, and narratives.
Explains Doctor Who.
This explains Doctor Who. And industry access and opportunities. So I fully expect Brie Larson to step down.
Right.
So Captain Marvel 2 can get an Academy Award.
That's right. And they should need to do that. So
let's put together a task force. That'll help everything right now. That'll stop all the problems going on right now, like today. A task force. Yeah, we're working on it. I don't know. I don't know. It does seem very disingenuous. A lot of these.
Yeah. Why did they do it now? Why not do it when people were upset about it during the Academy Awards? They could have done something then. Yeah. They could have made these changes, months ago when it was an issue, but they didn't. But now that we have to make a big show, a big, over, the top show of it, now they change it.
It seems to me, this is just my hot take, my opinion. It seems to me after years of kind of half-assed efforts and, disingenuous doublespeak, because again we look at how Disney treated black characters for Chinese audiences. We look at that after years of sort of like lukewarm action and lip service, now they're trying to overcompensate.
Right.
Like, well, now instead of like sitting down and having a conversation, let's just throw everything out and start over. And I don't know how that's going to go.
Let's see how they're going to pay for it.
Yeah, Disney's not going to have.
Oh, is this going to be a tax credit? Because don't you know they're trying to get a travel tax credit now put through. The lobbyists are already down in D.C. trying to push it through, where people could take vacations until the end of next year, and you could be eligible up to 50% reimbursement. So basically, they're going to bail out the travel industry by making American citizens pay, and then when they get taxes, they get a credit, which will probably still be on taxpayers to cover.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like taxpayers are going to pay for people's vacations now? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it's ridiculous. But anyway, we will see what happens. This is a rumor. We don't know if this is actually going to happen or not. But given that they did it before and this was the result, it would not surprise me one bit.
Nope.
And it doesn't mean that they're going to scrap the attraction entirely.
They might just take the problematic parts out of it. But some of these attractions, that would probably be the whole attraction.
Yeah, I think with Splash Mountain, it's basically the whole attraction.
And some of the problematic, quote-unquote, parts aren't really that problematic. Like American Adventure.
Yeah, I thought American Adventure actually...
Carousel of Progress.
American Adventure... Carousel of Progress is a product of its time. And American Adventure, I thought they actually handled it pretty well. Because they made sure they didn't candy coat anything.
And they've gone back and done more to make sure that you got the message that it was wrong and we need to change it. And then added more representation and diversity into it. As of like a year or two ago.
Yeah, because they made it out... I mean, look, I'm sitting here thinking of all the scenes. We had... Rosie the Riveter. Mm-hmm. We had that. We had Frederick Douglass.
Well, not just that. They have a museum. A lot of people miss it. But if you go into the waiting area, the rotunda, if you look off, if you're facing and going in, you look to the right, there is a museum there. And they had just not long ago, they were doing Native American pieces. Before that, it was about African American history and heritage. They've gone out of their way to make sure that they're covering diversity in the museum as well. So I really don't think the American Adventure, I'm sorry if you don't like the way history went and didn't go the way you liked it. That's why people are trying to change it for the better as time goes on. But that is still what happened. So, yeah. I'm sorry?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, just a rumor for now. It seems like Josh Tomorrow not completely on board, but Splash Mountain has been in the crosshairs.
They're going to have to
for years
because they made such a big deal about how I hear you. Here's money. We're going to do something, even though that people have called them out and stuff they didn't do. Since they're in a corner where they've been busted for doing some really shitty things. Quite frankly, I'm sorry. The movie poster thing on both cases for Black Panther and Star Wars was a really shitty thing to do. It really was. Now they're going to have to overcompensate. So some of these other things might not get much, but Splash Mountain guaranteed is going to get something.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee. I thought it would be like, oh yeah, let's take a look at Splash Mountain, but now it's hit USA Today. It's hitting all these other news outlets. I think Disney is gonna bow.
They're gonna buckle on that one. 100%.
Yeah. Well, they were even. I mean, I'll be honest. They were Splash Mountain. They were even having a lot of internal discussions about when they were building the ride. But again, they could reuse the animatronics. It saved money. And that's basically what happens. So
it is what it is.
Is what it is.
And of course, it's all rumor. So for all you people that are going to make comments, oh my God, what you're talking about. Sit and spin. Don't care. We said rumor. Have a nice day. All right. Pixie dust yourself.
Go pixie dust yourself. All right. So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. And we'll talk later.
Bye.
Hey guys. Thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com, and if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.